Jason Momoa breaks his silence on divorce from Lisa Bonet 1 year later, and what he reveals isn't what anyone expected. After months of quiet, the star opens up about why their marriage ended, the personal struggles behind the scenes, and how he's moving forward. This is the real story behind one of Hollywood's most talked about splits. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's relationship was one of those Hollywood romances that felt almost too good to be true. When they first came together, it was like watching two artistic souls collide. He, the rugged, charismatic actor known for his intense roles, and she, the enigmatic actress with bohemian spirit. Their love story quickly became a favorite among fans and media alike, symbolizing something rare in Tinseltown: authenticity and depth. They met in the early 2000s, but officially got together around 2005. Despite their fame, they managed to keep their bond low-key, rarely flaunting it on social media or in the press. Over the years, they welcomed 2 children, building a family away from the glaring spotlight. To the outside world, Jason and Lisa seemed inseparable, their relationship a beacon of trust and artistic freedom. Their connection wasn't just romantic. It was deeply creative and spiritual. Both shared passions for music, art, and living unconventionally. Friends often described them as soulmates who balanced each other perfectly. Jason's larger-than-life energy complemented by Lisa's calm and introspective nature. It was a kind of love many admired, a relationship that seemed to transcend Hollywood's usual superficiality. But beneath the surface of the seemingly perfect picture, cracks were slowly appearing. Fans noticed subtle changes: fewer joint appearances, less public affection, and growing silence on social platforms. Despite their efforts to shield their private lives, whispers of trouble started circulating. It was clear that something was shifting, but no one knew the full story yet. What made their story so captivating wasn't just a love they shared, but how they navigated the pressures of fame while trying to stay true to themselves. Many saw them as a couple who could beat the odds, but even the strongest relationships face challenges, especially when both people are fiercely independent and evolving. As the years went by, the questions grew louder. How did a relationship that once seemed unbreakable start to unravel? And why, after so much love and time, did Jason and Lisa ultimately decide to part ways? But the truth was far more complex than anyone imagined. The real reasons behind their split were buried beneath layers of personal growth, struggle, and transformation. Stories neither had shared publicly until recently. What happened next would change everything fans thought they knew about this iconic couple. And it all began with signs that many missed at the time. For years, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet maintained a carefully guarded private life. But those who looked closely began to notice subtle signs that their relationship wasn't as flawless as it appeared. Fans and media started piecing together moments that hinted at a growing distance between the two. It wasn't dramatic or headline-grabbing at first, more like quiet cracks forming beneath the surface. One of the earliest clues came from their public appearances. Once inseparable on red carpets and at events, Jason and Lisa gradually stopped showing up together. Their joint social media posts, which used to be frequent and filled with affectionate captions, became rare or vanished altogether. It was subtle but noticeable. Those who follow celebrity relationships know silence often speaks louder than words. Another sign was the way their interviews shifted. Both were once open about their deep love and respect for one another, but over time, their answers became more guarded. Instead of glowing praise or playful anecdotes, their comments about each other grew vague and carefully measured. There was no public drama, but the warmth that once defined their exchanges was noticeably muted. Rumors started swirling, but nothing concrete surfaced. Some speculated their busy careers were pulling them in different directions. Jason's skyrocketing success with blockbuster roles demanded long shoots and international travel, while Lisa remained focused on her art and family life, which required stability and calm. The distance, both physical and emotional, was becoming harder to ignore. Amid these shifts, the couple continued to protect their children fiercely, keeping family matters private and away from press. Yet, even this commitment couldn't stop speculation. In Hollywood, when two people who once seemed so close start withdrawing from each other publicly, the rumors inevitably intensify. Some insiders hinted that the couple was dealing with deeper, more personal issues behind closed doors, differences in priorities, evolving individual identities, or even struggles that neither was ready to share. But without confirmation, it was all just guesswork. Fans hoping for a reconciliation held on to the belief that this was just a rough patch. After all, Jason and Lisa had weathered the unpredictable storms of fame together for years. But sometimes, love alone isn't enough to bridge the growing gap. These subtle signs build a quiet tension that no one wanted to acknowledge openly. They were clues that foreshadowed the eventual announcement everyone dreaded. And then, finally, the news came that sent shockwaves through the fan base. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet were divorcing. But that wasn't the whole story. What followed the announcement would reveal a far more complicated truth, one that Jason would only share after months of silence. When Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet officially announced their split, it came as a shock to many, but the way they handled it left an impression that spoke volumes about their characters. Rather than engaging in a public battle or airing grievances, they released a joint statement that was respectful, heartfelt, and surprisingly calm. This wasn't the typical Hollywood breakup, filled with blame or drama. Instead, it conveyed mutual respect and gratitude for the years they shared. The announcement carefully avoided giving too many details, focusing instead on their ongoing commitment to co-parenting and supporting each other's paths. Jason and Lisa emphasized that while they were no longer romantically involved, their bond as family remained unbroken. This tone reassured fans that despite the end of their marriage, the love and respect between them still ran deep. Fans and the media responded in a mixture of disbelief and sympathy. Many couldn't understand how a couple who had seemed so solid could part ways. Social media exploded with messages of support, speculation, and questions about what really happened behind the scenes. Despite the respectful statement, the silence on specific reasons only fueled curiosity. Media outlets began digging into past interviews, social media hints, and unconfirmed reports, trying to piece together the puzzle. Some speculated about possible reasons ranging from personal growth diverging, to career pressures, to deeper emotional struggles. Yet, no concrete answers emerged. The couple was determined to keep those private. The respectful nature of the announcement stood in stark contrast to typical celebrity breakups that often devolve into public arguments or lawsuits. Jason and Lisa's approach seemed to reflect a mature understanding that sometimes love changes shape rather than disappearing entirely. But even with their carefully crafted statement, the public couldn't help but wonder, what had truly led to the decision after all these years? Was it simply growing apart, or were there more complex issues lurking beneath the surface? Fans hoped the silence would be broken soon. They wanted closure, clarity, and most of all, the truth from Jason himself, a voice that had been noticeably quiet since the announcement. Yet, Jason stayed away from the spotlight, refusing to comment on the divorce. This silence only added to the mystery, leaving everyone to fill the gaps with rumors and speculation. His absence from a conversation created a vacuum that only intensified the intrigue. And as the months passed with no new information, the story seemed far from over. What Jason eventually revealed would shock many, not because it was scandalous, but because it was honest, raw, and deeply human. What happened next would change how fans viewed not just the divorce, but the very nature of love and separation. After the divorce announcement, Jason Momoa retreated from the public eye in a way that surprised many. Unlike typical celebrity breakups, where stars rush to share their side or flood social media with cryptic posts, Jason chose silence. For a whole year, he said almost nothing about his split from Lisa Bonet. This wasn't just a quiet moment between interviews. It was a deliberate decision. Jason seemed focused on protecting his privacy and letting the dust settle away from the cameras. His social media, usually full of playful, energetic posts, went noticeably subdued. Fans wondered if the silence was a sign of pain, reflection, or simply a need to reset. Behind the scenes, Jason was navigating a lot. Sources close to him hinted at a period of intense personal growth and healing. The pressures of fame, the complexities of his family life, and the emotional weight of the divorce all played a role. Rather than rushing to explain himself, Jason appeared to prioritize his mental health and the well-being of his children. His focus on work also became clearer. Jason threw himself into new projects, using his craft as a form of escape and therapy. From major film roles to producing, he kept busy, but never at the expense of his family or self-care. This balance was crucial as he adjusted to a new chapter in life. Interestingly, Jason's silence fueled more rumors than answers. Speculations range from relationship struggles being far worse than known, to theories about new romances or dramatic fallout. But without any direct words from him, the truth remained a mystery. Fans and media alike respected his choice, understanding that some stories need time before they're ready to be told. This year-long quiet period became a symbol of Jason's integrity, showing that not every moment needs to be shared publicly to be real. But there was a growing anticipation. When would Jason break the silence? What would he say after a year of holding back? The answer came in a way no one expected. Jason's eventual words were not just a statement about the divorce. They were a revelation about himself, about love, loss, and the difficult journey toward understanding. What he shared next didn't just explain why the marriage ended. It challenged everyone's assumptions about celebrity relationships and the true cause of personal evolution. After a year of quiet, Jason Momoa finally opened up about the real reasons behind his and Lisa Bonet's divorce, and what he said was both surprising and deeply human. He didn't frame it as a scandal or a bitter breakup, but as a story about growth, change, and sometimes the painful reality that love isn't always enough to keep two people together. Jason explained that over time, he and Lisa had grown in different directions. What once bonded them, shared dreams, values, and lifestyles, began to evolve as they each pursued their own paths. He described it as a natural, if difficult, part of life. Sometimes two people who love each other deeply find their journeys diverging. He also touched on personal struggles that hadn't been public before. Jason hinted at challenges with balancing his rising career and the needs of his family, along with the internal work he had to do to become a better version of himself. He acknowledged that both he and Lisa faced their own battles, and sometimes those battles pull people apart rather than bring them closer. Importantly, Jason emphasized that the decision to divorce wasn't about blame or anger. Instead, it was about honesty, being true to themselves and recognizing when a relationship no longer serves the growth they both needed. His words reflected maturity and self-awareness, revealing a side rarely seen in celebrity breakups. He also spoke about the importance of respect and love in their new dynamic. Though no longer married, Jason made it clear that his affection and admiration for Lisa remained strong, especially as co-parents. Their priority, he said, was their children and ensuring they felt loved and supported. Fans were struck by the vulnerability in Jason's statements. It wasn't just a public figure explaining a divorce. It was a man sharing a personal evolution that many could relate to, even if they weren't in the spotlight. The way he framed the split challenged the usual narrative of celebrity breakups being full of drama and bitterness. This revelation gave a new perspective on their story, showing that sometimes letting go could be an act of love, not failure. It also shed light on the realities of maintaining a relationship under pressures of fame and personal change. But Jason's honesty also raised questions about what Lisa thought of his revelations. Had she spoken out? Was there more to the story? The public was eager to hear from both sides, hoping for a fuller picture. What followed would show how both Jason and Lisa were handling life after their separation, and how they continued to navigate love, respect, and family in their new reality. While Jason Momoa eventually broke his silence with heartfelt honesty, Lisa Bonet remained notably reserved about the divorce. Unlike Jason's public explanation, Lisa chose to keep her feelings and perspective largely private, continuing to protect her family's privacy and her own personal space. This quiet response added a layer of mystery, but also showed her desire to move forward, without fueling speculation or drama. Lisa's approach has always been one of subtlety and grace. Known for her artistic spirit and strong sense of individuality, she seemed more focused on healing and growth rather than addressing the public directly. Friends close to her have said that Lisa has been quietly processing the split, prioritizing her children and personal projects over any public statement. Despite the silence, Lisa did drop a few hints through interviews and social media. She emphasized the importance of love and respect in all relationships, even when they change form. She spoke about transformation and the idea that endings can sometimes open the door to new beginnings, a theme that resonated deeply with fans following the couple's journey. Professionally, Lisa has been dedicating herself to her artistic passions. She continues to act and create, often highlighting the freedom she's found in exploring new creative avenues. This renewed focus on her career and personal growth seemed to reflect a sense of empowerment after the divorce. Meanwhile, Jason and Lisa's relationship as co-parents has remained strong, a fact both have made clear when discussing their children. Despite no longer being married, they share a commitment to raising their kids in a supportive and loving environment. Their interactions, though private, suggest a foundation of mutual respect that has survived the upheaval of separation. This maturity in their post-divorce relationship has caught the attention of many fans and observers. It's rare to see a high-profile couple navigate a split with such care, focusing on family above all else. For many, this speaks to the deep bond they still share, even if their romantic connection has ended. The public's curiosity about Lisa's perspective continues, but her quiet dignity has commanded respect. She remains an enigma in many ways, choosing to live her truth away from the glare of the spotlight. Looking ahead, both Jason and Lisa seem committed to carving out new paths that honor their individual growth and shared past. Their story isn't just about a breakup. It's about two people evolving while holding on to the love that brought them together in the first place. What comes next for them, personally and professionally, will surely keep fans watching closely, hoping for more moments of openness and healing. One undeniable factor that shaped Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's relationship, and ultimately influenced their split, was the intense pressure of fame. Living under the constant scrutiny of the public, puts enormous strain on any couple, no matter how strong their bond may be. Jason's rise to superstardom, especially after starring in blockbuster films and iconic TV series, brought a level of fame and expectation that changed their dynamic. Suddenly, their private life was no longer just theirs. It became a story that millions followed, dissected, and speculated about. That kind of spotlight can magnify cracks, making private challenges feel public and sometimes overwhelming. Lisa Bonet, on her part, has always been more private and low-key, valuing a life away from mainstream celebrity culture. Balancing her more reserved nature with Jason's rising profile was likely difficult. The two operated in different worlds, with contrasting needs for privacy and exposure. The demands of Jason's career, long shoots, travel, promotional tours, also meant time apart. This physical distance, paired with the emotional demands of fame, created tension. Managing a relationship across busy schedules and media frenzy is never easy, and it could wear down even the most devoted partners. Media attention didn't just add pressure, it shaped public perceptions too. Rumors and gossip often painted a distorted picture of their marriage, amplifying insecurities or misunderstandings that might have been manageable in private. The couple faced a challenge of maintaining their authentic connection amidst a swirl of speculation and misinformation. Moreover, fame can complicate personal growth. When two people are evolving in the spotlight, it's hard to change without being judged or misunderstood. Jason and Lisa's individual transformations played out under a microscope, leaving little room for privacy or mistakes. Despite all this, both seem committed to shielding their children from the chaos, emphasizing family above all. But even with their best efforts, fame inevitably seeped into their personal lives. The impact of celebrity life on relationships is a story as old as Hollywood itself. But Jason and Lisa's situation reminds us how complex it really is. It's not just about being famous. It's about the unique challenges fame introduces to love, trust, and growth. Understanding this context helps explain why their relationship, as deep as it was, faced such obstacles. It wasn't just about two people falling out of love, but about two lives trying to coexist in a world that rarely allows for simplicity. Still, the lessons from their story resonate far beyond Hollywood, touching anyone who's ever struggled to balance personal identity with outside expectations. And just when you think you know everything about their journey, there's more, deeper struggles and surprising twists that add another layer to their story. At the heart of Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's relationship, and what remains sacred even through their split, are their children. Their family life, though mostly shielded from the public eye, has been a constant focus for both parents. Despite the challenges that come with divorce, Jason and Lisa have made it clear that their children's well-being is their top priority. Their two kids are often described as the glue that keeps the family connected. Friends and insiders have praised Jason and Lisa's commitment to co-parenting with respect and love, refusing to let their personal differences affect the children. In an industry where high-profile divorces can often become messy in public, their approach stands out for its maturity. Jason frequently talked about fatherhood in interviews, highlighting how becoming a dad changed him profoundly. He credits Lisa for being an incredible mother and partner in raising their kids. Even after the divorce, that admiration hasn't faded. He's dedicated to being present and supportive, often sharing glimpses of family moments that show a united front. Lisa, too, has been protective and nurturing, maintaining stability for their children amid all the changes. She's known for fostering a creative and free-spirited environment at home, encouraging their kids to explore their own identities and passions. Their co-parenting style emphasizes communication and cooperation, avoiding conflict and keeping the children's needs at the forefront. This balance isn't always easy, especially given their demanding careers and public lives, but they prioritize it. In fact, many fans have expressed admiration for how Jason and Lisa navigate this complex dynamic. Their ability to separate their personal breakup from their parental responsibilities challenges the stereotype that celebrity splits must be chaotic and contentious. The children's upbringing remains private, but it's clear that both parents work hard to give them a sense of normalcy and love. This commitment adds a powerful, emotional layer to their story, a reminder that even amid heartbreak, family bonds can endure and evolve. Still, co-parenting isn't without its difficulties. Balancing schedules, differing parenting styles, and the occasional strain of unresolved emotions can test even the strongest partnerships. Yet, Jason and Lisa's dedication to their kids shows a resilience and grace that few expect from celebrity couples. As their story continues to unfold, their family dynamic remains one of the most hopeful and inspiring aspects. Proof that love takes many forms, and sometimes the greatest love is the one that transforms rather than fades away. After the divorce, both Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have embarked on new personal journeys, embracing fresh starts while carrying the lessons from their past relationship. Their paths have diverged, but both seem determined to find happiness on their own terms. Jason's post-divorce life has been marked by a renewed focus on himself and his career. He's taken on diverse roles and projects, showcasing his range beyond the rugged action hero image. Fans have noticed a more reflective, even spiritual side to him, shared through social media posts and interviews hinting at inner growth and healing. His personal life has also seen change. Rumors of new relationships have circulated, though Jason remains discreet, mindful of the boundaries between public curiosity and private life. Whatever the truth, it's clear he's open to new connections, but also values his family's stability above all. Lisa Bonet, meanwhile, continues to evolve as an artist and individual. Her work remains deeply personal and creative, reflecting a woman who's comfortable in her independence. She's been spotted engaging in artistic collaborations, and her social media reveals moments of joy, exploration, and family love. Both Jason and Lisa have also become advocates for mental health and self-care, speaking openly about the importance of emotional well-being. This openness has helped shift public conversations around celebrity struggles, making their journeys relatable beyond the glitz. Despite going separate ways, their shared history continues to influence their choices. Both seem committed to carrying forward the positive aspects of their past relationship: mutual respect, family bonds, and personal growth. Their story of separation isn't just an ending. It's a testament to resilience and the power of transformation. In a world quick to label breakups as failures, Jason and Lisa offer a different narrative: that sometimes letting go is the bravest, most loving act. Their journeys inspire fans to rethink what it means to love and grow, showing that even when things fall apart, new beginnings are possible. The world watches as they carve out these new chapters, a reminder that life after heartbreak can still be beautiful, full of hope and unexpected joy. Looking back on Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's story, it's clear that their journey wasn't just about a celebrity marriage ending. It's a powerful lesson in love, loss, and personal evolution. Their divorce reminds us that relationships, no matter how deep, aren't always meant to last forever, but that doesn't make them any less meaningful. What stands out most is their maturity and respect throughout the process. They chose honesty over drama, growth over resentment, and family over fame. In a world obsessed with scandal, this approach feels refreshing and real. It shows us that love can transform rather than disappear, and that sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves and others is to accept change. Their story also highlights the challenges fame brings to any relationship: the constant spotlight, the pressure to maintain an image, and the difficulty of balancing personal needs with public expectations. Yet, despite all that, Jason and Lisa manage to keep their core values intact, protecting their children and supporting each other's growth even as they parted ways. Fans and outsiders alike can find something relatable in their experience. The hard truth that not all relationships are forever, the pain of separation, and the hope that comes with new beginnings. It's a reminder that growth often requires difficult choices, and that true love sometimes means letting go. Ultimately, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's story is not just about a divorce. It's about two people navigating life's complexities with grace and honesty. Their journey challenges a typical celebrity breakup narrative and invites us to see love as an evolving force, capable of healing and transformation. As viewers, we're left with a deeper understanding of what it means to love and grow in the face of change, and a hope that both Jason and Lisa will continue to find peace and happiness in their new chapters. Their story isn't over, it's just changing shape. Thanks for watching this deep dive into Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's story. Their journey shows us that sometimes love means change, growth, and new beginnings. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the headlines.